Thanks so much for joining us at halftime of the Tennessee Tech game. I'm here with senior defensive lineman E.J. Speller, and we're going to start first talking about the season, second game of the season right now. What are you most looking forward to?
Just getting back out there with my guys. It's really exciting when you put in all that work during the off season. It's so hard, all the work just for maybe 60 minutes, hopefully, to play a game and give. So it's always fun to get out there with the guys.
Yeah, home opener today.
Yeah,
talk a little bit about the preseason. What was that like this season?
Strenuous. It was one of the hardest off seasons we had, but it brought us closer together as a team. We feel like we have a family now, we're brothers. So when we go out there, you know you got 10 guys that have your back and 100 more on the sidelines cheering you on. So it always feels good. It gives you confidence when you work your tail off.
You're a fifth year this year. You've had a lot of seasons here. You're a leader this year. I mean, is that a role that you've consciously taken on?
It's been a rough transition because I'm more of a quiet guy. So I always had Alvin and Trav and all the guys like that to lead for me. So I didn't have to be a leader, but this is the year I had to step up. Coach Ayers told me I had no choice. So.
Is he telling you to be more vocal with the guys?
More vocal, be more into it with everybody, let everybody know, lead by example, but also be a voice for the team if I can be. So people want me there, so I'm very welcome to be in that role, so it's great.
Let's talk about some of those guys you just mentioned, like Alvin and Travis. In years past, who are some of those mentors and guys that you've looked up to?
It's been a ton. It would be here forever if I could name them all, but really just Eric Eberhardt from my freshman year, guys like that, Amit Paul like on the D-line, and having Tarek with me, like it makes things easier when you have guys with the same focus and goals as you. So I've always had older guys and guys in my class that always had my back, so I've never really had too much pressure on me.
Tarek is gone this year.
Yeah,
has he
unfortunately.
been in touch with you at all? What has he said about the season?
We talk all the time. Just tell me, keep doing what we've been doing. We've been trying to start a legacy here. We're trying to finish it. He finished his. I'm trying to finish mine, so we can go out on top.
Let's talk about those first 2 years, because Wofford kind of was on top. Your first year here, you were redshirted. The next year, you were a redshirt freshman. Went to the playoffs both years, and then your sophomore year 5-6, last year 6-5. What's going to have to happen this year to kind of turn that back around? Complete focus.
It's nothing too much. When you watch the film, we weren't that far away. We weren't a 6-5. We were a 6-5 ball club because we made ourselves that. It was nothing talent-wise or effort-wise. It was just we didn't focus and put ourselves in the right position to make the plays on defense. Talking-wise, so when we come into the games this year, we need to have more focus. So hopefully we can turn that around and get back to the golden days.
The golden days. You got 9 starters returning on defense this year. Is experience what's going to play the biggest role?
It definitely should. That's an advantage when you have guys that have been in the game. We have a couple freshmen that are coming in to play, but we have a lot of guys that have made plays and are making plays still. So it gives you more confidence, it just adds to confidence. That's why I feel like this year should be a good year for us.
Looking back on your years here, what stands out to you? What's your best memory on or off the football field?
Best memory on the field probably would just be winning that championship and the feeling of all the hard work you put in to get that ring, to get that satisfaction of you're the best. It feels great. And off the field, just basically having hundreds of brothers. Like I have people in my phone that I can text and call at any moment. Those connections are for a lifetime. So that's pretty much the best thing off the field.
Going forward, you mentioned that connection with your brothers, and in December you're going to be out of Wofford. You're an accounting major. What are your plans?
We're just trying to figure it out. Probably head back to Virginia and try to make some money. That's pretty much the only objective.
Work in accounting?
Yeah, probably. For right now, work for my pro day, see what happens, and just keep chasing dreams.
And go from there.
Yeah.
Let's talk about your journey to Wofford. You're from Virginia. How did you find Wofford?
It's a crazy story. Coach Adams, he's not even here. I've never played with him or for him. So he was here the year before. I was in contact with Navy, didn't want to go to Navy. The Navy coach liked me so much that he shipped my film out to his friends, and one of his friends happened to be Coach Adams. Got a call from Coach Tichy the last week of January saying come on a visit. I came on a visit. walked around, met with the guys, and he was like, "Do you want to come here?" I was like, "Yeah." So my recruiting process was so much different than everybody else's.
Pretty easy. I mean, he just said, "Want to come here?"
Simple. Like, yeah, he said, "Give you a scholarship." I was like, "All right, that's fine with me."
Let's talk about Tichy then. I mean, you've had a few different defensive coordinators during your time here. What's that transition kind of been like, not having a stable, one defensive coordinator?
Well, it's really not too much drop off because all of my defensive coordinators have been here. Like Coach Hugh, Coach Tichy, Coach Woody, they all been here. So they were all in the same family. So it really wasn't too much of a drop off, just personality differences, but you could deal with that.
Let's talk about growing up in Virginia. Talk about your childhood. When did you start playing football?
I've always loved football, but I was always too big to play with my age group, and I was always too scared to play with the older kids. So I started playing in 7th grade, and it was just a way just to get away, stay out of trouble. So I never really thought I would get to college or anything. I was just trying to stay out of trouble. Where I'm from, it's not really the greatest, so the greatest environment. So you try to stay out of trouble any way you can, and sports is always the way from where I'm from. So I just kept playing and got better, and then eventually ended up in college. So.
At what point did you know that you were going to be a defensive lineman?
As soon as I made my first sack, 7th grade. That's when coach came to me and was like, "Yeah, this is your position. You'll be good at this." So I was like, "Okay, keep working at it." I've been playing ever since.
And you just grew with that. Your mom was a huge part of obviously your life, but also your football career, and was with you on this journey. And she passed away this summer. How has the Wofford community and your teammates and your coaches kind of rallied behind you during this?
It's been amazing. I'm so gracious to everybody that helped out because I have nothing but the utmost respect for this institution and everybody that's a part of it.
And how they've rallied behind you. I mean, it was a huge...
My teammates had my back. I had so many calls and texts, so I've never been through this alone. I've always had people behind me. And
it was a huge shock losing your mom, of course.
It was very surprising. We didn't see that coming.
It happened this summer.
Yeah, it was just a little sickness that she was holding to herself with cancer. She was just trying to be a strong woman that she always been. Just took a toll of her. I'm just glad she's in a better place, so I can't complain anymore.
Were you here?
Yes, I was. I was working out in the summer here with all my teammates, and I got a call saying your mom's sick, but she actually passed away. They just didn't want me to freak out, so I just drove to Virginia. When I found out the news, just put on your big boy pants and try to be a man. That's pretty much it.
Part of that is your younger sister.
Yeah.
You became her guardian.
Just about. My grandma is doing the load right now, but pretty much she's my responsibility to make sure she's doing all right. So, I mean, it's no problem. I love her to death. So.
And she's in high school?
Yeah. She's finishing up her last year right now. So, afterwards, we'll see. Hopefully, I can get her in some type of school and get her another education that I got. So. And
you want to move back and take care of that.
Take care of my family.
You're going to school, you're a football player, you've got so much on your plate right now. How do you manage it all?
You just keep pushing. You just don't worry about the negatives. You just keep focusing on the positives. So at the end of the day, it's what can you do? You know what I mean? When we met with Kevin Elko, he came for a team-like thing, and he just kept saying, "So what now? What?" And it was just, I'm living by that. Just so what? What you gonna do? You just gotta keep pushing. While you gonna keep being negative, you could be positive. Be positive.
Did she get down here often for games?
She was working a lot, so she would only get maybe 1 or 2 games a season, but when she came, we were undefeated. So I feel really good. We're undefeated when she came, so.
Do you feel like she's gonna be out there with you this year?
She'll be here. She'll always be there.
Are there things that she would tell you about football?
Chase the ball. Because my high school coach used to call me lazy because I never chased the ball. If I knew I wouldn't make the play, I would never chase it. And it's always been a little thing, like when you're chasing the ball, it's just you get tired of running. You just want to keep your energy. In high school, I always remember my mom, I could hear her every play. Chase the ball, you just, I was like, all right, chase the ball this time. And
so you're going to hear her in your head?
Yeah, in my head, just chase the ball, give everything I got. It's my last season. Pretty much it.
Leave it all out on the field. Is there a motto or anything that the team is rallying behind this year?
We just keep chopping. It's like when you chop in a tree, you don't really look at what the tree's doing. You just know that you're focusing on one goal. So you just keep chopping. So when times get tough in practice, it's hot, and you're tired, you just keep chopping. Just keep doing that, and we keep it going. Just keep chopping till the tree falls and hopefully get a championship.
Okay, so tough loss at Clemson last week. You played one of the best teams in the ACC, Deshaun Watson. What was that game like, the atmosphere? It was a tough loss, but being in Death Valley? What was that like?
It's always a great experience. You can play those type of guys you see on TV and all that. I mean, as a football player, you want to be in those venues. You want to be out there. I've been fortunate enough to play some amazing teams in my career. I've never played a bad FBS team. We've always played top 5 teams, and they're a top 5 team. So it's a good gauge to see where you at and see where the young guys and where the old guys can fit in and see people's roles. You saw to see who's the leaders, who's the playmakers. So it was a good test for us. So we'll bounce back. We'll be ready for the SoCon.
All right, thanks so much for joining us. E.J. Speller again, senior defensive lineman. Now we'll get back to the second half action.
Go Terriers.